is hanging outside Smile Town, otherwise known as the Italian hilltop village of San Gisto. The gigantic red nose lures clowns from far and wide for the International Clown and Clown Festival now underway. World-class performers, street artists, and humor therapists have flocked to the area with gifts of love, social awareness, and self-mockery, offering people big and small a heavy dose of laughter. More than having a good time, clowns say laughing is a celebration of life itself. The title of this year's gathering is called Let's Find Balance, Let's Lose Balance. Now in its 15th year, the festival draws an estimated 20,000 visitors to this small Italian village. I guess there's conventions for everything.
Yes, there are.
The clown convention. All right, that's our time for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here again tomorrow. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.
Right now, as Madison works to fund a new bus rapid transit system, we're asking experts how effectively it could ease traffic congestion.
Wisconsin Republicans agree to make accommodations for a lawmaker with disabilities, while Democrats say they're trying to take more power away from the minority party.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
Thanks for staying with us, everyone. Tonight at 5, the Dane County Finance Committee will once again discuss the wheel tax that Madison's mayor is proposing tonight.
And many people might be wondering, does Madison even need a bus rapid transit system, and will it reduce traffic congestion? Jamie Perez asked an expert. She joins us now. Jamie?
Well, the bus system actually is something that a lot of cities are using and have been using. The expert that I spoke with today said public transportation and congestion do go hand in hand, whether you personally use the bus or not. Now, as Madison's population continues to grow, he said we need to find a way to increase travel times and accommodate more people who are on the roads. Now, while we would all love to have something like a light rail, we just don't have the money for that right now. The bus rapid transit operates at a fraction of the cost. And with the millions of riders our current bus system sees on a yearly basis, now the expert I spoke with said more people will get on board with the rapid transit system because it's a faster and more efficient way to get where you're going. But he does acknowledge that some people will not benefit from this at all, which is likely why some people are opposed to the wheel tax.
Depends on where they're going. You know, some who aren't in a place that are served by it, they won't be directly affected, except that to the extent that other people might use it, they might have a less congested drive.
Sundquist also said the $40 that we would all have to pay into this wheel tax is mostly going to Madison Fire and Police and other city services. He says only $6 or $7 from this new tax will actually be going to BRT. He also said the bus system that we have now in Madison is one of the highest used bus systems in a city this size in the country. He believes this new BRT system would only encourage more people to use public transportation.
A conversation that no doubt will continue in the future. Jamie Perez reporting. Jamie, thank you. Developing tonight, a Richland Center woman has admitted to killing the man whose body was found in a rural Sauk County area last month. 37-year-old Christopher Lytle was found dead back on September 22nd in the town of Fairfield off Levy Road. 35-year-old Amber Lundgren was arrested yesterday in connection to his death. Detectives found there was a prior relationship between the two and that the incident was not random. Sheriff Chip Meister is withholding specific details about the case to ensure that Lundgren gets a fair trial.
To weather now, a rainy, cold weekend is ahead, and some rain is falling right now in parts of the viewing area.
That's
Chris Reese
right.
is on the patio. Hi, Chris.
Hello.
Right there.
The rain has started to come down. It actually picked up just a bit over about the past 15 to 20 seconds or so. This is the first round of rain that's moving in, perhaps multiple rounds of rain that we will see as we go through the coming days. Here's a live look from our station camera as we speak, and of course, yes, it is very gray and wet out there. Temperature-wise, we're at 66. Those winds coming out of the south and east at 6 miles per hour. A lot of us seeing those temperatures into the 60s. Lone Rock at 67 right now. La Crosse at 68. There's more cloud cover where that came from, and we will see the rounds of showers kind of come and go as we go throughout tonight and then into tomorrow and tomorrow night as well. So look for scattered showers as we go through the overnight hours. I can't rule out a rumble of thunder. Temperatures cool down towards 63 tonight. That will likely be the high tomorrow. You see that colder air just back towards the north and west. That, my friends, is on the move. We're talking about some chilly air and some wind chills and maybe even a few snow flurries as we head into the weekend. You don't want to miss the full forecast coming up.
All right, Chris, thank you. A heated and at times emotional debate at the state capitol over making accommodations for a lawmaker with a disability.
The state assembly voted to allow Representative Jimmy Anderson to phone into meetings, but as Rose Schmidt explains, Democrats say this is another power grab from Republicans. Rose?
Democrats argue that accommodating Anderson turned into a chance for Republicans to dramatically expand their power. But Republican leaders say their intentions weren't nefarious and Democrats were unwilling to compromise.
The clerk will open the roll.
After hours of debate, the state assembly passed a proposal meant to make accommodations for Representative Jimmy Anderson. Anderson made an emotional plea, revealing personal details about the car crash that left him as a quadriplegic and killed his entire family.
And I started begging my mom and my dad to tell me that they were okay. And all I could hear was the ticking of the engine. And that was until I bled out.
Anderson says last year's overnight lame duck session left him needing surgery because he needed to sit too long. Earlier this year, he asked Republicans if he could phone into committee meetings when he can't be there in person.
I am asking to be included in the legislative process to the best of my ability, and to think that I would be disrespectful to this building offends me to my core.
Republicans crafted a proposal this week with accommodations for Anderson, but it included provisions Democrats opposed, including the ability to override a governor's veto multiple times instead of the current one time allowed. Democrats say it's an attempt to limit their and the governor's powers, but Republicans argue that's not the case.
Read the resolution. Does not change the veto override process. What you're talking about, if we truly wanted to be nefarious with this and somehow wait until all of you are gone and do this, well, we couldn't do that.
Late in the afternoon, GOP leaders decided to separate Anderson's accommodations from the veto override proposal as a result of his emotional speech. They asked Democrats to meet them halfway.
We took the words of the gentleman from the 47th to heart, and we want to make one more step in your direction. We're hopeful that by doing this, that you'll take a step back for the first time.
But all Democrats, including Anderson, voted against the changes, saying they limit the power of the minority party to force debate on their bills. Governor Tony Evers' spokesperson says in a statement that Republicans are still sour more than almost a year after an election, and today they adopted Lame Duck 2.0.
Rose Schmidt live at the state capitol. Rose, thank you. Also at the capitol today, the assembly recognized First Responders of the Year. There were 99 honorees, including Racine police officer John Hetland and Milwaukee officer Matthew Rittner, who were both killed in the line of duty. Dane County Sheriff Dave Mahoney was honored, along with Middleton Police Chief Chuck Folk, who is retiring at the end of this year after 38 years of service. Assembly Speaker Robin Vos called all of the honorees the true heart and soul of our communities.
There is no amount of gratitude that we can show that will truly equal our appreciation for what these men and women representing first responders all across our state do every single day. Their sacrifices should not go unnoticed.
Speaker Vos also mentioned 80-year-old Al Mitchick of Highland, Wisconsin's longest-serving first responder in his 47th year of service. He was not able to attend the service today, Vos said, because he was back home, probably waiting for his next call.
Probably right. And UW-Madison reviewing complaints of a student or covering the windows of the college Republican student office with signs calling President Trump sexist and racist. The college Republicans tweeted out a video of those signs yesterday. In another tweet, they invited all students to respectfully discuss their ideas. The university's official Twitter account responded, saying, while it supports free speech, UW policies do not allow the posting of unapproved signs or posters in public space. Two men who have played a role in the president's efforts to have Ukraine investigate former Vice President Joe Biden and his son Hunter are now in jail on campaign finance charges.
Arness and Fruman were arrested around 6 p.m. last night at Dulles Airport as they were about to board an international flight with one-way tickets.
Lev Parnas and Igor Fruman made their first court appearance in an Alexandria, Virginia courthouse this afternoon. The two helped President Trump's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, set up meetings in Ukraine as he worked on the president's behalf to get Ukraine to investigate the Bidens. Congressional investigators have issued a subpoena for Giuliani and his associates to turn over documents related to their work and also give a deposition. The House has also subpoenaed Energy Secretary Rick Perry as part of the impeachment inquiry. Perry came into focus for his role encouraging the president to take the phone call with Ukraine's president. It sets an October 18th deadline for a variety of Ukraine-related documents.
Tonight at Beloit College, former Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker will interview former Vice President Dick Cheney. Walker is the president-elect of the Young America's Foundation, a conservative student organization. The interview starts tonight at 7 o'clock, and we will have live coverage tonight on News 3 Now at 10. A Dane County man is facing a hefty bill after a part was stolen from his car.
And despite an arrest being made, the district attorney is not filing charges. Madeline O'Neill is here to tell us why that is. Maddie?
Eric and Susan, Shane Bloomer worries this crime can happen to anyone without the perpetrator facing consequences. On September 20th, he noticed the catalytic converter was gone from his car and filed a report with the Dane County Sheriff's Office. The same thing happened to a friend of Bloomer's, and both were convinced they knew who did it. Now, there was enough evidence for an arrest warrant. The Dane County Sheriff's Office says the suspect was brought into custody on the 28th, but he was released on the 30th. Bloomer says the DA's office told him because catalytic converters don't have serial numbers, they just didn't have enough evidence to press charges.
I would like restitution because as being disabled on a fixed income, I can't afford $2,200 to fix my car. And that's my form of transportation. I'm a single dad that has my kids 50% of the time. I have to transport my kids one way to school 26 miles.
Catalytic converters on cars can be stolen and sold for the small amounts of valuable metals they contain. Now, we were just able to get a hold of the district attorney's office. They say they don't believe they have enough evidence to prosecute because they weren't able to match up the vehicles with potentially stolen parts, especially with the lack of serial numbers. We're not naming the man arrested as of now, of course, because the DA says he's not facing any charges. We'll have an update on this story at 6, along with a few things you can do to try and prevent theft like this.
All right, Maddie, thank you very much. The Midwest Athletes Against Childhood Cancer Fund is making a $10 million donation to the American Family Children's Hospital and the UW Carbone Cancer Center. It's the MAC Fund's largest donation. It'll be spread out over the next 5 years. The gift creates the UW MAC Fund Childhood Cancer Research Acceleration Initiative, supporting safer and more effective cancer treatments like using a child's own immune system to fight cancer.
This inspirational MAC Fund gift is providing flexible support to further speed our ongoing research progress in cell therapy with engineered anti-tumor T cells and natural killer cells, combining novel molecular radiotherapy and immunotherapy, and converting a growing tumor growing in a patient into a potent curative vaccine within that same patient.
Now, to date, the MAC Fund has given $65 million to childhood cancer research. As part of the celebration today, members of the 2014 and 2015 Final Four Badger men's basketball teams shot some hoops with patients there.
The Wisconsin Alumni Research Foundation has given the UW-Madison School of Veterinary Medicine a $15 million gift. It's meant to jumpstart renovations and new construction, which will double the size of the animal hospital and triple infectious disease research lab space. Construction is set to begin in the summer of 2021 and be completed in 2023.
Still to come at 5, a new food program is looking for volunteers to make deliveries to people who are homebound, and we're previewing where you can see the mesmerizing Ice Castles display this winter.
And then coming up at 6, we're looking at how the Highway 14 closure in Janesville is impacting commuters who rely on the interstate every day.
And a look at Thursday trading on Wall Street. The Dow up more than 150 points. The NASDAQ adds 47. The S&P 500 jumps almost 19. And we'll be right back.
Many older adults who receive Meals on Wheels or eat at local food banks have to stretch one meal into two or more, especially by the end of the month when they run out of food and money. Several local groups hope that their new program won't let that happen anymore. Food Bridge will serve 60 people ages 60 and older who are homebound and nutritionally deficient. It just launched on October 1st, and now organizers are looking for volunteers. Volunteers will set up a time to deliver fresh food for free.
It's a great opportunity because it's flexible and you can sign up for a schedule and perhaps do it this once a month. And if you think about your busy day, couldn't you squeeze just a couple hours in and help somebody in need?
RSVP of Dane County is partnering with New Bridge of Madison and the River Food Pantry to coordinate this program. They say 2,500 adults in Madison and Monona qualify. Head to channel3000.com and search food to volunteer to help.
Popular ice castles display will return to Lake Geneva this winter at a new location now, the Geneva National Resort and Club. Construction set to begin later this month or early November. Crews are hoping to open the Winter Wonderland in early January, if weather permits, of course. Last year, tens of thousands of people visited the ice castles. I'm not quite ready for ice castles yet, but Chris Reese is telling us we might have some very chilly weather in the forecast for the weekend, Chris.
Yeah, that's certainly true. I'll tell you what, I'm ready to see some good fall color around here. So let's start off the forecast with the latest fall color report. Of course, we're seeing more and more of that color starting to pop throughout central and parts of northern Wisconsin. Plenty of counties at peak right now or near peak. Now, as you work your way closer towards southern Wisconsin, that's where you've really got no change in the leaves or you only have patchy change in the leaves. Now, Dane County is not green as of yet, but if you've been out today, you're seeing more and more of that fall color. We're officially patchy right now, and I think the peak will be about 2 to 3 weeks away. We're a little slow, but normally we don't actually see these colors come into peak until mid or late October. So we've still got plenty of time. Towards the north, it's late September and early October that those colors begin to peak. Mid-October for the central part of the state. So we're watching the fall color. The weather the past couple of days has really been nice to get a lot of those colors to change. The only problem now is things are about to get wet and maybe even a little bit frosty. Highs today, we're at 70. Our normal high 61 for this time of the year. Temperatures have cooled down just a little bit. We're at 66 right now. Janesville also at 66, a little bit warmer just towards the west. Boscobel at 68. La Crosse also at 68 right now. But we're watching the cloud cover. And we're also watching the showers that are all moving into the picture. And I have to show what's showing up across the Dakotas. Plenty of snowflakes flying just back towards the north and west. That's where the colder air is. We're still under the influence of this warmer air for about the next 12 to 18 hours. Then that colder air is certainly going to be on the move. This is the cold front that's marching on in. As it does so, we're going to watch those shower chances continue to increase ahead of it. Behind that, we stay breezy and we stay cold, but also pay attention to the wraparound snows throughout parts of Minnesota. I do think that will be just south enough to work its way into parts of Wisconsin. And even if you're not under the rain or snow showers, there's plenty of wraparound cloud covers. Things will likely be kind of gray, especially as we get you into, say, the second half of the weekend. That push of cold air, it sticks around, folks. It's going to certainly be felt. It'll settle in over us as we go into Saturday. It tries to lift a little bit as we go into early next week. Then another reinforcing shot of some cooler air moves in by the time we head you towards Wednesday. And then we might try to mild up a little bit by the time we get you towards the end of next week. But it's going to be all about that timing. Here are temperatures right now. You see that cold air on the move? Let's go ahead and put this into motion. Track the front. Here we are tomorrow morning. Temperatures are in the 60s for us, 30s as you work your way up towards the Twin Cities. By tomorrow afternoon, headed home from school, temperatures will likely be into the 40s, and then they'll fall to just above the freezing mark for those overnight lows. You factor in the wind because, yes, things are going to be windy. Tomorrow night's football games, you're going to want a jacket. Wind chills will be in the 30s and 20s. By Saturday morning, wind chills will be in the 20s, maybe even teens for some folks. So go ahead and get your umbrellas as we head into Friday along with Saturday night, but make sure you have the jackets, especially for Saturday into Sunday. That's the chilliest part of the forecast. Then we'll see some dry time and temperatures that are milder in the 50s as we head through next week. Now, of course, we're watching traffic for you guys. This is the Beltline at Todd Drive right now. Of course, things are wet. And it is a Thursday, which seems to be a heavier traffic day around here, so make sure you give yourself plenty of time. Some of those slowdowns all the way down towards 12 miles per hour in some spots. As you get over towards Stoughton Road, there is a stalled vehicle causing some delays as well. Plenty of slowdowns downtown and around campus. Be on the lookout for students and bikers who are trying to get out of the rain. The slowest drive time right now is from University towards the interstate headed eastbound. That's taking you about 40 minutes. Drive safely.
All right, thank you, Chris.
Still ahead at 5, some businesses are offering a new incentive to attract employees, a 4-day work week. We'll explain how it's helping some companies get ahead. That's next. Climate change protesters blocked traffic in Times Square this morning. They were surrounding a green boat with the name and logo of environmental group Extinction Rebellion. The UK-founded group has been behind other climate change protests around the world. The boat has "Act Now" written on it, urging world leaders to take immediate action. New York police reports at least 62 arrests, likely for civil disobedience. A major airlines group that includes British Airways has promised it'll remove or offset all carbon emissions from its fleet by the year 2050. International Airlines Group says it'll replace older aircraft, invest in sustainable jet fuel, and develop technology that removes CO2 from the atmosphere. British Airways says it'll also invest in solar energy products and plant trees in South America, Africa, and Asia.
Cost of living increases will be passed on to Social Security recipients next year. According to the Social Security Administration, nearly 69 million Americans will get an extra 1.6% in their monthly benefits. That is about half of the increase that was given in 2019. The raise is given to help offset inflation, which is hiking the price of food, goods, and services. Unemployment is at historic lows, and that has many companies fighting to find good workers.
And to attract new employees, some businesses are offering an interesting perk. Kenneth Craig reports.
Andrew Culbertson is a digital marketing coordinator for an Indiana company. Even though he works full-time, you won't find him in the office on Fridays. Employees have the option of working 4 10-hour days.
Knowing that on Fridays I get to be home with my son and my wife, it's wonderful.
CEO Bernie Veldman says offering the 4-day option has helped him attract new workers.
People like having Friday off, and I find myself that by the time Saturday rolls around, all the stuff I wanted to get done is already done on Friday, and you really get more of your weekend to enjoy.
A report out last year found 27% of companies offer compressed work weeks with 4 10-hour days. 12% go a step further and offer 4 days, but employees only have to work 32 hours a week.
This 4-day work week is something that we're starting to see as a trend.
Dawn Fay with the Robert Half Staffing Agency says the tight job market has companies creating perks like flexible hours, the ability to work from home, and even unlimited vacation.
So there's a lot of different things that we're seeing out there that's helping companies try to attract and retain and keep employees from burning out.
Culbertson says the 4-day week has boosted morale.
Even if you have a rough Monday morning, 4 days from now, I have a long break.
He can always look forward to a 3-day weekend. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, New York.
And stay with us. We'll have a final check of your forecast in just a moment.
Little bit of rain falling in some parts.
Yeah, we're going to see the rain showers around tonight and into tomorrow. I can't rule out a rumble of thunder. Temperatures fall out towards 63 tonight. That's going to be the high tomorrow. And then temperatures continue to drop all the way into the low 30s. I can't rule out a possible flurry Saturday night into Sunday.
All right, Chris, we'll have more updates on News 3 Now at 6 in 30 minutes. Stay tuned now for the CBS Evening News.